Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Today's art journal page, I'm going to show you two different ways of using rice papers on an art journal spread. And to do that, I'm back in my prompt journal. So I'm just going to pick prompt out of here randomly, and I'm going to play this or that. It's double-sided, so I have to do owls or traveled. Owls or traveled. And I think I'm going to go with owls because I know I have some napkins. So this is my prompt journal. It's a composition book. I've glued pages together and I've given this page a coat of gesso and it's ready dry. Look at that texture that's there. It's all wrinkly, but that's just going to add to my page. So I was going to grab an owl napkin, but I remembered that I had this rice paper in my stash. This is a NINNYSNAPKINS rice paper. I'll put a link in the description box. I don't know if these are available, but she has other collections of rice papers that are exclusive to ninnysnapkins.com. Now I like the circle shape, so I am not going to water cut. I am going to use my scissors because I want to preserve the circle shape. And I am going to cut out all the owls. There are 5 of them. And at this point in time, I'm thinking I could have 3 of them going across the page. These are the leftovers from the rice paper, but don't throw these out. Save them. I save them in a plastic envelope, keeping on a desk. They work as great collage papers. And as I open this up, this orange one catches my eye. This wasn't the plan. There is orange on several of these owls around the eyes, and I'm thinking, oh, why don't I do that? And inspiration strikes. So here's the second way. I'm going to use these leftover bits of rice paper. So after you've cut out the focal images, like don't throw them out, save them. And I'm just going to rip these into random shapes. I'm not too worried about the shapes of them. I want to have several across the page. I just want to get rid of all the straight edges. Not a big fan of straight edges. So let's just get these owls out of the way and put down these collage papers. Often I've done this technique with my gel prints. I call it rip a strip, where I pick several colors of gel prints and I glue it down. It kind of starts your color story. Wasn't sure what color background I was going to go with, and it's just kind of happened. So I just went with it. So I'm just going to put these on here, kind of have a stream of them across. Gluing the rice paper will give me the color. There's some pattern on there, as well as a little bit of texture will be added to my background. So now that I have them basically on here, I am going to glue this down, and I'm using Fluid Matte Medium. I buy this bulk. I put it in the littler bottles that I've cleaned out from some other product, and I'm just using that. I'm using a lot of this, gluing it down. Rice paper is so easy to work with. There is no right or wrong at this stage. You're just putting it down. Really intuitive, you just kind of wherever it feels or looks good to you. Now I'm going to add some texture. I'm going to use the Crafter's Workshop modeling paste and this stencil from the Crafter's Workshop called Hand Cut Net. I'm going to put a little bit on my palette knife and then put it on a key card, and I'm just using the key card to apply it. I am not looking for a perfect imprint here. This is background texture. That's the sole purpose of it. I want a little bit of pattern. This stencil, I don't think I've put paint or modeling paste through, so today's the day. When I'm working in my prompt journal, I want to use things that I have handy, things that are leftovers, things that I haven't done before. I'm going to do a bit of experimentation. I'm in this composition book. Nothing is too terribly precious. So there's the rice paper down below, and the other rice paper we're going to use as the focal image. So once that is completely dry, and yes, I did use my heat tool, I'm going to do some stamping. This is a stamp set from Stamperia. I think it's Happiness Is, and this is kind of like a weather vane or globe. I'm not even sure, but I'm not too worried about getting an exact imprint. I know that's impossible because of all the texture that's in my background. I just want some markings on my background. I'm braying on black acrylic paint onto the stamp that's on an acrylic block, and then I'm stamping this here and there. I'm adding this now before I add any more color because I know once I add the color, that's going to knock this back and soften it, and I don't want it as bold. I clean my stamp before I move on. Always clean your stamp if you're using with acrylic paint. I grab a number stamp that's in that same stamp set, and I'm just stamping on it. And again, I'm not worried if it's blotchy or splotchy. I just want a little bit of texture. I don't even need or want to be able to tell that it's numbers. This one is now looking like it's going to be kind of a grungy background. So there are the owls, and I notice on the couple of the owls and some of the rice paper I put down, there's kind of this muted gray teal. And so I mix up my paints. I pick blue gray and then I add a little green to it and a little bit of gesso. And now I'm using a makeup sponge and applying this to the background. Again, this was not a plan. I am just using, what's in the rice paper, what's in some of the colors and thinking, okay, what if I did that? So some areas are a little darker, some are lighter. Where I'm going over the modeling paste, if I don't press in, I get some of that white still there, which adds to the texture, adds to the patterning of this. And I'm really enjoying what's happening with my background here. Wiping off a little bit that on the rice papers that I wanted to see more of that orange. I didn't want to get rid of it. So just adding a little bit more of that color, giving it a good dry. Then I grab my burnt sienna, which is the same color as the orange and the rice paper, and I'm adding bits of it, extending the rice paper. So where there's rice paper, it's a little bit more texturized. Where there's none, there's not. And then I'm going over some of the modeling paste, the textured area there, and that's bringing out that hand cut net pattern. Again, I do not have an idea of where this is going to go. I'm just applying paint as I go, very intuitively. I love painting with my fingers. Got a little bit of that green paint on there. I'll tidy that up and keep going. And then it kind of ended up having kind of a swoop of the orange color going throughout. And as you can see, any of the stamping that I did isn't as predominant now. That's because the color has gone on top and it's pushed those elements further back, but they're still very visible and they add to my completed page. I just want a colorful backdrop for my owls. So again, I've dried this off. Now I'm putting the owls back on. This one, I like this print, but it's green and it's not the teal. This one has that exact blue, gray, teal color, as does this one. Now, originally I was going to put 3 cross it or something like this. And when I get to this stage, I'm thinking I don't like the three. That seems crowded, or maybe I just like my background more, but I do like this one. And I'm thinking maybe if I make this a little bit bigger, bulk it up in some way when I'm doing the finishing, that it will be big enough on the page. So I take that challenge. It's like right now it's a little too simple. One of the ways I'm going to bulk it up, I'm going to grab a sentiment from my Winged Wonders sentiment pack. Those are available as digital downloads from NINNYSNAPKINS.com. And I find the one that says fly, first love yourself. So as with these sentiments, you can use them as they are, or you can cut them apart. And so I cut them apart. I've also blown it up. So I have two different sizes. So I'm using the word fly from the larger set and the first love yourself from the smaller print. Now I've decided to cut out the letters of the with the word fly just because just wanted to get rid of that white. So I've cut it out and then I'm kind of swooping it over the focal image so it kind of works together. It's adding a little bit of weight to the focal image. Now, before I glue everything down, this rice paper will go somewhat transparent and you will see the darkness from the background. So to prevent that from coming through, I am giving it a coat of gesso on the backside. I discovered this, I tried it thinking, does this work? And I discovered a while ago, in an art journal page that it works. So I've done it repeatedly now without fail. Otherwise, you'd have to paint out the circle underneath it, white. This is just easier. Then once that's dry, I'm using my fluid matte medium and gluing down the rice paper focal image and my sentiment. A little final adjustment with the sentiment and then just gluing it down. And I put a coat of the fluid matte medium underneath and on top. Another dry, and now we are ready to do some of the finishing. Now, I lost some footage here. This white circle around the owl, I did give it a little bit of a brush of a watered down gesso. And then I'm using the stylus here with the red oxide um, burnt sienna color and just putting back that color and bringing the color from the background more predominantly into the focal image. There weren't as many of these berries on the branches. I'm just adding a few more. And then just tweaking the colors of the rice paper. I'm over painting, doing basically a wash. I call this over painting, but it's just tweaking the colors, enhancing the colors a little bit, as well as brightening the whites. Adding here, I'm just adding a little bit more white on the eyes, and then adding the patterning that's on his wing. When you choose to do overpainting, you can do just one or two elements of the focal image. You could do all of it. That's up to you. Here I didn't do the gray or the brown of the owl. Uh, I just basically, tweaked the orange and brightened the whites of it. dotting the I's with the white. And then I'm shading around that circle. And you're going to notice that circle, that focal image, becomes so much more predominant once I've added this shading. It separated it from the background and has really made that focal image pop. And then I'm shading around the edge of my page as well. And this is just framing it, and it's tying everything together. I do one layer, I can always come back and shade again and add more to it. And you're going to see me do that around the circle around the owl. I just wanted to bulk that up. Now I've got some of the black acrylic paint on the pad of my finger and I am rubbing it on the textured area. This is just getting caught in little bits here and there, grunging up the page, just adding another detail, bringing out that texture. So off to the side, I'm just dipping my finger in the paint, kind of tap, tap, tapping almost till it gets perfectly dry, and then just ever so lightly rubbing it on the textured area. I love the grungy background that got created here. Totally was never in my mind when I started. I wanted to bulk up the letters, make them a little bit darker. So I'm just using my fine line brush with some black acrylic paint that's slightly thinned down to just make the letters stand out a little bit better. And then I'm shading around the words, top and bottom and sides. And don't be afraid to turn your book or your page to make it easier for you. And here I'm going to add more for to around the circle. So just a little bit bolder. And there we have the finished page. Textured, grungy, lovely color scheme. Who knew? Follow where your page leads you. Until next time, go get creative.